out.
Insurrection.
Indeed, amid the chaos of this afternoon, shots were fired, and one protester badly wounded.
That person died.
The circumstances are not clear, but it is proof of how perilous it remains here tonight.
Again, there is no blood in the video. I just don't want to risk it. Also, I don't know. Maybe she might be pregnant too on top of that, but I don't know. Anyway, here you go.
This morning,
Fucking
the
DMCA.
crowd in front of the White House, repeating his false claim that the election was stolen.
All of us here today do not want to see our election victory stolen by emboldened radical left Democrats, which is what they're doing, and stolen by the fake news media. That's what they've done and what they're doing. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved.
The cost of that rhetoric is increasingly clear.
I need my right!
As crowds tonight are still swirling around Congress. And America's long journey as a stable democracy appears to be in genuine doubt.
Every single person that participated in the Saving Our Democracy events, which was literally an anti-democracy protest, by the way. Okay. They are all responsible for inciting violence. This summer, Biden addressed BLM protesters as you and they. He just addressed the coup attempters as we. I don't know. I'm not like reading too much into that. But it is obvious that like he literally fucking feels like, you know, he's the uniter of America. Yes, AOC tweeted that she's safe. Luckily, thank God. What point in my life am I at where I'm just watching Twitch streams by myself while eating dinner? LMAO. I mean, what's the difference? You would be watching what Don Lemon talk about this shit instead of me if you were. Like, is it being on Twitch making it worse? Does Don Lemon get to talk to you while you're fucking eating dinner? No. So shut the fuck up and eat that dinner, bitch. There you go. That's the point of your life you're at. In front of 200,000 people. Imagine if Don Lemon was like, whoop, open up the fucking gates and was like, hey, nothing wrong with getting your news from fucking Twitch. Feel me? Just kidding. Auf Wiedersehen, Olsen. Congress is back in an hour. It's also top of the hour every hour where we have a 60-second ad break. I'm going to run that right now. If you want to avoid the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. Congress is going to come back in an hour. So far. Uh-oh. I'm hearing police sirens. It's probably nothing. If you no longer want to see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or for free with your Twitch Prime. We're going to keep covering the events of today. And then afterwards, we will get back to Congress. Most supporters were in downtown LA. Yeah, fuck them. But anyway, you can subscribe for free with your Twitch Prime. Here's the ad.
Day at the U.S. Capitol. I've covered the Capitol for over a decade on and off, and none of us who have been here in that time have ever seen anything like this. I think it has rattled people quite deeply, both members of Congress and also the many hundreds of aides and reporters who also work in this complex.
Dude, a fucking literal siege of Congress rattled people in Congress? That's fucking wild, dude. His color commentary is just absolutely just excellent. Thank you. I have heard so far today, we've watched a lot of mainstream media, okay? There are brilliant reporters on the ground giving you round-the-clock coverage, and what they're doing is incredibly brave, and fuck yeah for them. I'm lucky to know some of them. I'm happy that some of them are actually unionized. But as far as the commentary proportion goes, it's literally bringing on Republicans to have them wag their fingers at the protesters that they fucking agitated, okay, and act like they're not morally culpable without any pushback whatsoever. Talking about how shocking these events are, talking about how this is not the America they know and love, and a number of different things like that. Not a single point of reference on like how this got to the point it did. Not a single point of reference on like, you know, why this is happening, how to stop it. Like, where is the opinion of the opinion pieces? And it makes no sense to me that like this is what mainstream media looks like, where it's just like, oh, it's shocking, I can't believe it happened. And it's unironically the same as like Black Lives Matter protests too. This is America. Wake the fuck up. Okay? There are millions of people who have these sorts of thoughts and feelings. And part of the reason why they have these sorts of thoughts and feelings is because leading up to this point, we legitimize the opposition and their points of view as though they were legitimate and should be legitimized by virtue of being thought by an American citizen. It's crazy. Yeah, I know Twitter removed both Trump's tweets. It doesn't matter. They should just fucking ban him, dude. They shouldn't just ban him. They should arrest him. Like, they should detain him. Legit. Straight up. It's fucking nuts. Oh, by the way, yeah, Israel, from what I understand, bombed the fuck out of Damascus today, apparently. I didn't look further into it, but... Oh, so now Trump is out of his mind.
To a source, a GOP source close to the president, who speaks with him regularly, and I take no...
Yeah, fuck. I'm sorry, dude, but Jim Acosta, you're a bitch, dude. Seriously. Like, God, CNN's never gonna have me on. But, like, what do you mean you're talking to a fucking non-disclosed source? Like, no, these... Don't fucking shield the identity of, like, Republican insiders, dude. What is this shit? Oh, now they're saying Donald Trump is crazy? Where the fuck were these sources a year ago? I bet that source literally goes on CNN regularly. I bet his private source that wants to fucking maintain anonymity in this circumstance is probably very openly a Trump supporter that literally has defended Donald Trump's mania on the timeline. What is this source, dude? You're not protecting a whistleblower, brother. You're literally protecting powerful Republicans who are morally culpable, okay? They are responsible for the things that have happened today. Meanwhile, where the fucking fuck were these people who were saying Trump is real crazy now a month ago? Or were they a week ago? That's one of the things that really fucking frustrated me when the whole, like, you know, election cycle saga was happening, was like Donald Trump was claiming that this is not real, it's not a legitimate election, and that this is all bullshit and all that. And like, Republicans behind closed doors are saying something much different than what they say on camera about how they think Donald Trump is being a little ridiculous right now. Bitch, what do you mean? I mean, you're a reporter. What do you mean? Like, oh, they're saying different things behind closed doors. What? Okay. Sick. Who cares? The hogs aren't hearing that. Even CNN host agrees with you should put a name on it. If you're saying the commander-in-chief is out of his mind, you need to put your name on it. Oh, never mind. Other CNN anchors and chief national security correspondents agree with me as well. So maybe it's not that crazy that we're doing
no pleasure
source.
In reporting this, but this source tells me that he believes the president is out of his mind. The quote used by this source is he is out of his mind. And the source said the president is so traumatized by his loss in the election. It is all he can talk about. It is all he can think about. It's all consuming for him. And that, in this source's opinion, he is out of his mind. Now, I talked to...
Oh, sick, dude. In his source's opinion, he's out of his mind. As a result of the unprecedented and ongoing violent situation in Washington, D.C., we've required the removal of 3 real Donald Trump tweets that were posted earlier today for repeated and severe violations of our civic integrity policy. This means that the account of real Donald Trump will be locked for 12 hours following the removal of these tweets. If the tweets are not removed, the account will remain locked. Okay, so... no, it's not a fucking pog moment. Like, this is the bare minimum. First of all, they should have permanently banned him when he literally said he was going to do terrorism by destroying cultural landmarks in Iran, okay? That is literally, like, If that's not terrorism, if that's not inciting terror, then nothing is inciting terror. That is literally the definition. When he said after executing Qasem Soleimani, if Iran wants to fucking, get fucked, we will bomb their cultural landmarks. They should just ban them. Future violations of the Twitter rules, including our civic integrity or violent threats policies, will result in permanent suspension. Our public interest policy, which has guided our enforcement action in this area for years, ends where we believe the risk of harm is higher and or more severe. As in, doesn't matter if fucking Iranians get blown to bits. We'll continue to evaluate the situation in real time, including examining the activity on the ground and statements made off Twitter. We will keep the public informed, including if further escalation of our enforcement is necessary. Okay? That's sick. Trump is banned from Twitter, or at least like on lockdown. Can't wait for the hogs to fucking literally be like, dude, this is the biggest violation I've ever seen of individual liberties. Anyway, well, now they have the guts since soon he won't be president anymore. Yeah. Iran is celebrating these protests. Iran is pro-Trump. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I love, dude, I don't know if I don't know if there's still ops in here or not. Like, hello, I am Iranian, bro. Bro, I love MEK, bro. Seriously, we love John Bolton. We call him Hero. We call him Hero John Bolton. Please, bro. I live in Iran, bro. Please glass me, bro. You don't understand. Believe me, bro. I am Iranian. I love MEK. We are big fans of Saudi Arabia, and we want America to glass us, bro. Right? That's real Iranians, dude. Thank you for bringing the voice of Iran to the table here, sir. Iranians love Donald Trump. Lan biz de böyle konuşuyoruz. Evet amına koyayım. Sizde de taşak geçiyorum böyle konuştuğunuz zaman. $100 trillion on defense every year and you could just walk into the literal capital. Yeah, but that's, brother, that's a good defense is a strong offense, as I always say. And strong offense is when you knock down doors of fucking brown people or give $100,000 to some fucking pedophile warlord in Afghanistan. That's a good offense. That's the strongest of offenses. When you build forward operating bases around goat herders. Who needs to defend the capital? We're defending the world, baby. Matt, how Republicans don't leave the party like politicians do in the UK. They're all career politicians. I mean, the politicians in the UK are fucking scum too. There's one thing that's consistent. Most politicians are scumbags, okay? Like, universally. Newsmax said it's Antifa? Oh my god, dude. Downtown LA right now? Downtown LA right now? Stay from downtown LA City Hall, Rodeo Drive, and 110 stay home? What the fuck? Okay, my food is here. Hold on. I gotta sit down. I'm starving.
Earlier today, two Trump supporters basically saying, I am one of you, but she said, I need you to hear me. Quote, the election was not stolen. We lost. Mick Mulvaney, the former chief of staff here, tweeting out, the president's tweet is not enough. He can stop this now and needs to do exactly that. Tell these folks to go home. We also saw tweets from Kellyanne Conway, a former top advisor here, as well as members of the president's family who essentially urged the people who were storming the Capitol to be peaceful and to stand down, to go home. So that was the counter messaging that we were hearing from President Trump, these very clear messages to those who were storming the Capitol, and this very mixed messaging that we were getting from President Trump. So I can tell you the effort continues here to try to get the president to speak out in a forceful way, but I don't anticipate that's going to happen tonight, Savannah. We just got what is referred to as a full lid here at the White House, which means it is almost unlikely and impossible that we would hear from President Trump, at least that we would hear him speak. And now that his Twitter account has been locked down, it's hard to see that that would happen either. And just to take a step back, I would remind people about how this day started with the president addressing his throngs of supporters here at the nation's capital, reiterating those false claims of fraud and trying to apply pressure to Vice President Mike Pence to get him to block the election results that were going to be read today on Capitol Hill, something that he cannot do, something that Pence was quite clear today he does not have the authority to do.
Hey, Kristen, it's Lester. As you talk about these calls for the president to be more forceful in his condemnation of all this, who is he listening to right now? We know he's been huddled around a group that have been encouraging him to continue to fight the election, but is there anyone in his immediate orbit who might be pointing him in that direction?
Well, we know that among the people he has spoken to today and who have been advising him most closely, his chief of staff, of course, Mark Meadows, and then his family members, Ivanka Trump, one of the people who he listens to most closely, Jared Kushner, another one. And so we know that he has been speaking with these people, but the question is, will he listen to his family members? Will he listen to his top aides? And so far, he has not. So far, he has, again, put forward this very mixed messaging, reiterated some of his very heated rhetoric, and at the same time trying to urge peace, saying that we are the party of law and order. So will he listen? That remains to be seen. I can tell you, Lester, that heading into today, there was a real effort to try to get the president to view today and what was supposed to happen on Capitol Hill, which was the reading of the Electoral College votes and then the declaration of President-elect Joe Biden as the next president of the United States. The president's aides and allies are trying to get him to see this day as really his last stand, as the last airing of his grievances. One person telling me privately, look, we understand this process and we understand the reality. Joe Biden's going to be the next president. And so there is an effort behind the scenes here to get the president to, if he's not going to concede publicly, at least to accept that and to try to move forward with his next steps. What will that look like? He has talked about a potential run for himself in 2024, but it's just not clear what his next steps are, what his off-ramp is here at the White House, Lester.
All right. Kristen, thanks very much. And we've seen these pictures of people occupying some of these offices, and shocking as they may be, as I pointed out earlier, they're also potential evidence. I want to bring in Pete Williams right now. Pete, there have been various descriptions of, how do you characterize these folks? Some have called them terrorists. The police have called them rioters. But in the eyes of the law, what kind of jeopardy are they in, these folks who stormed the Capitol?
Well, the ones who simply went into the Capitol are in jeopardy of being charged with, believe it or not, trespassing on government property. And I think that's one of the reasons why you didn't see more of an aggressive law enforcement response early on to try to arrest people. The law enforcement people were simply way outnumbered, and to stop and make arrests is a big consumption of manpower resources. And it may well be that the Capitol Police just said, well.
Here's the other part about this that's bullshit. They knew that this was going to happen. Trump telegraphed that this was going to happen. They literally fucking organized these protests months in advance. They knew that this many people were going to come to D.C. They could have. Muriel Bowser literally wanted to bring in the National Guard ahead of time. The fact that they were so understaffed for this is literally on purpose. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's because they're Trump supporters themselves. I don't know if it's for some other fucking weird reason, but they 100%, 100,000% knew that this was going to be like this, and they didn't do shit.
Now, there are also more serious things being investigated. There were 2 improvised explosive devices, homemade pipe bombs in essence. We don't know whether they were working devices or not, found outside the headquarters of the Republican and separate Democratic national committees, both of which have their offices on Capitol Hill. The RNC is right near the House office buildings. The DNC is a little further away. Those were both identified and destroyed. And then, of course, we have the most serious thing of all, the shooting of a woman who was inside the Capitol building. She died of her injuries a couple of hours later at a D.C. hospital. We still don't know the circumstances of the shooting. We don't know which law enforcement agency had the officer who shot her. We know it was a law enforcement shot. What we've been told is the woman was trying to climb up onto a ledge over a doorway. One congressman has said she was trying to get onto the House floor. We just don't know if that was the case or not. The D.C. police still have not.
I'm eating a burger. For those of you who are wondering, I'm eating a plan check burger. I am treating myself today instead of eating my regular chicken tendies because I'm hungry and I'm emotional and I'm eating my feelings. Okay, there you go. It's a moment of weakness, and you get to see it.
We're clearly out to do some damage.
All right, Pete Williams. Thanks, Pete.
Joining us now on the line, Senator Jeff Merkley of Oregon. He's currently in a secure location with other senators. Sir, I'm glad you're able to talk to us. We're glad you're safe. First of all, just give me your what you witnessed today from your perspective. What did you see happen? What did you hear?
You bet. We were on the floor of the Senate.
McCarthy's on Fox News. Let's hear what he had to say.
States in Pennsylvania changed the laws. But what happened is in there and also in Michigan is the law was actually silent on whether or not you could solicit votes, whether or not the Secretary of State could send out solicitations, applications, and ballots. And so what the courts ruled was, well, the law doesn't say you can't do it, so you must be allowed to do it. I disagree with the ruling, but the way we fix this is next year in Pennsylvania, we control the Pennsylvania state legislature. We should pass a law that says you're not allowed to, the taxpayer dollars aren't allowed to be used to solicit votes. And that absentee voters votes have to be counted according to the law, and that secretaries of state can't change the law passed by the legislature.
Jail.
Don't do it by destroying the Electoral College. If we destroy the Electoral College, all the calls now are going to be from the left to get rid of the Electoral College. Conservatives will never win again in this country. So we shouldn't be trashing the very institution that has been the way we win the presidency, and the only way we've been winning the presidency recently is through the Electoral College.
That's absolutely true. With regard to your party on the whole, the Republican Party, we heard from Mitch McConnell today. He talked about a shared commitment to truth and ground rules. He said he was worried about a death spiral for democracy, and this is before any of this happened. He said that he had respect for people's decisions and would defend our system of government for the future. Now, that put him in stark opposition to Ted Cruz and to Senator Hawley, who wanted to use the process to contest these states, which they have a right to do. But where does this leave the Republican Party when you've got this very deep cleave over how all of this has been handled?
Well, there's a certain degree of disingenuousness from those who are...
Wait, I thought the reason for the Electoral College was so that we could care about Iowa. And, small states like Iowa, and definitely totally avoid small states like fucking Alabama because they're deep red, or Kentucky. Just Iowa is the only, it's just swing states. That's why. Small states like Florida would be important. Oh, wait, those aren't small states. Some of those are small and no one gives a fuck. Some of those are large and everybody gives a fuck. Turns out the Electoral College literally is just about allowing Republicans in the minority to win.
Election laws in the states. I can't vote to overturn the election, but they keep telling us, oh, we're not voting to overturn the election. We're voting to protest the election. That's not what the vote is. They're characterizing the vote as a protest, but it's not a protest. The vote is not to seat these electors. The result is Donald Trump would win the presidency. That's what they're asking us to do. It's an extraordinarily radical idea that would overturn everything we've ever done in this country with regard to the Electoral College. And I can't believe people have been thinking, oh, yeah, this will just be normal. And I think that this heightened tension that everything's been stolen just, has led to this feeling that nobody believes there's any integrity anymore, and so they're just going to riot. And the thing is that we can fix this problem. It's not a problem that can't be fixed. We fix it by going to all the state legislatures, and that's what I'm going to spend the next year doing, going to every state legislature and trying to pass election reform laws so they can't do this again. But rioting and anarchy is not the answer.
So you think even though Republicans will not have a majority in the Senate, that these things, these vote fixes can be pushed through Republican state legislatures and will make a difference by the time the 2022 elections roll around?
It's the only thing. It's the only constructive thing being offered is what I'm offering. Fix it at the state level.
Yep.
At the federal level, we don't control the House, we don't control the Senate, and we won't control the presidency. But the other thing is as a conservative and someone who believes that elections should be done at the state level, It's what we believe in. We don't believe in a federal fix to this. So what happens is people jump to the easy solution. They say, oh, there's this problem. We got ripped off in the election, so Congress should fix it. But the problem is it's against our philosophy to say Congress fix it. Our philosophy says it should remain with the states, and really state capitals should be important places. State reps, state senators should be incredibly important. I will lobby mine. I've already started lobbying my state reps and state senators to say we need to pass election law reforms in Kentucky. But it's not the business of Washington to do it, and then setting up this false expectation that will overturn the Electoral College and everybody's going to be happy with that. No, it would have led to chaos and war coming from the other side had the election been overturned.
Senator Rand Paul, thank you. Good to have you here tonight on a very rough day for the country.
So good, so rough, Senator Rand Paul. I hope your feelings are not hurt too much.
I suspect they will succeed. They will say any arguments we wanted to present have been presented over Arizona. And actually, the arguments.
We already talked about.
And there's no important is to just recognize we just had a violent mob assault the U.S. Capitol.
Dick Cheney's daughter, by the way. Demon spawn.
In an attempt to prevent us from carrying out our constitutional duty. And there's no question that the president formed the mob, the president incited the mob, the president addressed.
Like literally sold out her lesbian sister. Like that level. That level of demon spawn behavior. Fun fact, Liz Cheney backed like anti-LGBT legislation because it was favorable to do so in her state, despite the fact that her literal fucking human being sister is lesbian.
The mob, he lit the flame, and this is what America is not. There's just been, it's absolutely intolerable and unacceptable. And the mob will not prevail. What's important is to just recognize we just have.
And the American people have decided she deserves power over them. Yeah, it's great. There's a lot about this country.
Joined in that effort, failed to stand up when leadership demanded that people stand up.
Well, Senator, we appreciate your time. It's going to be a long one for you. We'll be watching. Keep us posted on what transpires. And thank you again. We're glad you're safe and your colleagues are safe.
Thank you very much and take care.
Thank you.
NBC law enforcement analyst and former Seattle police chief Carmen Best, I believe, is with us. Is she with us?
I am here.
You are here. Great. Thank you so much for being with us. Watching what transpired today and thinking 2 weeks from now, we'll be looking at an inauguration at that very same spot outside. What is your level of concern as a law enforcement professional?
Well, obviously, what we saw today was absolutely surreal and just reprehensible. I don't think anyone could have quite imagined it to be as violent as it was. Certainly, I know that other law enforcement officials who are looking at this will be ramped up, if you will, to make sure that they have sufficient resources available. And I imagine security will be extremely tight, come January 20th, given what we've seen today at the in D.C. here.
Let's talk about the intelligence about what this group might have done, given what was out there on social media. Does it appear that something was missed?
Well, it's easy to, we're very early on, it's easy to make those types of suppositions. But, I imagine there was a lot of security around, inside the facility. And when these folks showed up, I know as being a former chief, my first priority would be to make sure that we could account for all the electeds and get them out of the facility and out of harm's way, that there weren't any hostage situations.
They took at least photos of laptops and shit. They could have very clearly done like actual security breaches. Okay. And that they could be very literally, like a bunch of national secrets could have very literally been leaked.
certain that when things began,
With
that they were
zero
very concerned
security.
about the health and the welfare of the electors inside the building.
Yeah, and at that point when things are happening, it did seem for a long time that everything was kind of left in place, people inside, people outside, and then this evening with the curfew, things began to move. Was that ultimately, did that make the most sense to bring in as much mutual aid as you described as possible before actually moving to clear the area?
Yeah, very much so. The last
Thank you,
thing we
Spaghetti
needed to have
Monster.
the officers overrun because of a lack of resources. So they were going to need to have as much personnel, including the National Guard, on hand to assist with the large numbers and crowds that they had. And even in those situations, you need to use some sort of less lethal munitions to help disperse the crowd and get them out of the area.
All right. Listen, we thank you for sharing your expertise on this, and I think a lot of questions will be asked in the days to come, but we appreciate the insight. We want to go to NBC's Frank Thorpe now on Capitol Hill. And Frank, you were locked down for a good part of the day. When were you and the others finally allowed to leave?
We were locked down in our studios, in our booths in the Capitol for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, told that we were not allowed to leave, and also that we were to stay away from windows, try to stay away from the hallways, and to be honest, that was a good warning, because when I went into the hallways, there were rioters walking through the hallways, and they were going to the chamber. They were in the chamber. The video that I was shot and was airing earlier. This was a situation where it was an unprecedented situation. And I have to say, there's a level of sadness. There's a level of sadness here in the Capitol from lawmakers and aides who are just surprised and shocked that this happened. They're just stunned that something like this could happen to a building that they consider to be so secure and is so important to the happenings of the U.S. government. So we were evacuated from the Capitol and brought to a secure area in the Senate office building. And that's where also senators were also housed as well. But those senators are currently headed back to the Capitol to proceed with these proceedings, to continue on with the count. So I just have to say, it's just
I'm not gonna make fun of this dude too much. He's very clearly fucking traumatized, dude. Holy shit.
Sad feeling within the Capitol, not only with lawmakers, but with aides as well.
Yeah, Frank,
He's literally,
the way this...
They broke him today, dude. Holy shit.
The ceremonial counting of the electoral votes typically goes about a half hour. We knew there would be these Republican challenges today, leading to 2-hour debates for each state challenge. Even with them coming back to work tonight, will they hang on to that model? Do we have a sense of even whether the objectors might consolidate their arguments for the sake of time, or are we looking at something that could stretch easily into tomorrow morning?
So there is an indication that they could try to consolidate these objections.
I mean, this is an act of terror, right? Like, I mean, it's like no different than a fucking school shooting. Like, if you're witnessing the events that are taking place around you, where you watch like a fucking rabid mob of MAGA hogs break in, mace cops, and like fucking try to kill you. Some of them are like literally bringing zip ties with themselves so they can like actually make citizens arrests on you and like kidnap you and shit. After 4 years of white supremacist terror that goes unchecked, yeah, no shit, you're gonna think like, okay, they're gonna kill me. So for a lot of them, like, they are probably going through very legitimate, like a very legitimate grievance period of and potential PTSD in the aftermath of all this.
Have their voice heard, and they had their vote, and they can go and accept the vote count for the Electoral College.
Yeah, I know there's been a lot of talk that some of the objectors may have a political expediency and their own futures in mind, and of course political expediency is nothing new to these chambers. That said, is this now being looked at as a potential political risk to keep pushing this hand?
I'm sorry, Lester, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, is it considered a political risk for some to keep pushing this hand and then maybe withdrawal is the better part of valor?
Well, I think that there's a political risk in general. I mean, I think that Republicans were kind of trying to figure out the political risk on both sides of this. If there was, if you're joining objectors, you're trying to appease yourself to the Trump base. A lot of the senators and lawmakers who were joining the objectors were the ones that were up for re-election, who have to face Trump voters, the Trump base, in the next 2 years. So, but this is also a situation where this has gotten out of hand. It just has. And I think that they recognize that. And so this is, the debate has already begun on this first objection for Arizona. It has to be completed. But the question is whether or not they go through with the rest of the objections, up to 5 more. And I think that there is a sense that they could finish this debate and vote after this one debate and feel like they've had their voice heard here and that they can move on.
All right, Frank Thorpe, thank you. Thanks very much.
And Lester, I mean, I think where Frank is right now is notable. He's been allowed back into the Capitol complex, and the vice president's press secretary has said that Vice President Pence has returned now to the Senate. He never left the Capitol grounds and was in regular contact with the Capitol Police, and they are now going to finish the people's business. That is according to the vice president's press secretary, and we're being told that staff and press are being allowed back in, and they're I don't know if we have the video yet to show you, but we're pulling it right now, which is this is a day that was mostly ceremony, certainly in years past, where there's this process of certifying these physical electoral votes that are sent from the 50 states into the Capitol, and those electoral votes in the heat of that moment.
I cannot wait for all the wonderful documentaries and movies that come out of the events that took place today, where they celebrate this moment of like democracy winning with tears in their eyes as the Republicans and Democrats finally get together and celebrate when like literally half the aisle is responsible for the terror. Like, I can't wait for the incredible moments of positive recognition of those Republicans who like finally learned their mistakes. Like, dude, they almost died. They almost died. Like, what the fuck do you mean? You almost killed them. You almost died on your own. It's like, why do you want me to fucking check AOC Twitter, bro? What do you want? Check AOC Twitter. What? She literally just typed out impeached. That's it. Did she write something new? Is that what you want me to check? Chill, bro. Quiet down, little soy boy bitch. He's back. Aw, he's back. What a cutie. What a cutie patootie you are. Little pet. We'll keep you. We'll keep you as a little pet. It's the way she typed it. No way, dude. No way. What way did she type it? That's crazy. It's poggers.
Really important to emphasize, with just 2 weeks left, the significance of this moment today, of watching what we all watched play out on television.
Oh my God, I can't believe Melania Trump's chief of staff resigned in the wake of protests. What? Like what, 2 weeks out of fucking being completely out of power? No way, dude. No way, dude. It's so significant.
Decision, submit her letter to the First Lady, whose sources tell me.
Dude, fuck this shit, bro. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Said here, he has issued a series of tweets, as you noted at the top of this broadcast here, some of which have been removed. His Twitter account is now locked for the next 12 hours. We cannot hear from him on Twitter because of how that platform has suggested his tweets are so incendiary. There is the potential that his entire Twitter account will be suspended permanently if he continues to issue the kinds of tweets he's been issuing. Through all of this, and including through that video that the president issued, that taped message that was taped by his staff, not by members of the media who were present, the president really hasn't had a tough word to say about the people.
It's great. No, it's definitely not weird that we are straight up behaving as though, you know, the president is a baby. He is a big, wet, giant baby. We put him in timeout. One person died so far. And, the entirety of the American Congress and all the staffers, media, everyone is fucking traumatized. But
all right, Hallie, thank you so much.
He's in timeout. He's in the timeout corner because he did a no-no thing.
It's Frank Filguzzi. Frank, you and I...
Turns out inciting a fucking riot because you're mad as you lost was a no-no thing. Yeah, +1. 1 plus like 4,000 fucking COVID deaths today. Dude, I'm sorry. If you're coming in here and you expect me to say stuff like, oh, how brave of these fucking Republicans to like finally come out and you know, speak out against the orange man, he's so bad, like, don't expect that. Okay, I think all these people are fucking crooks. Okay, if you literally turn around and you like try to run even a shred of defense for Republicans on this fucking day, you either don't recognize the events that took place as serious as they are, or you're a piece of shit and you literally just only care about like normalizing every event that took place. And every no matter how cruel someone's acts might be, no matter how disastrous, how dangerous one's acts might be, it's like, oh, we just gotta, they're trying their best. No, they're not. No, the fuck they're not. They're literally trying their worst. And they're gonna go back tomorrow to being the same fucking dipshits that they were yesterday and the day before and literally today as well. The only time where they were, I guess, not as big as a dipshit was when they were trying to cover their asses on mainstream media, talking about how like, oh my God, yeah, it's really bad. I can't believe this happened. It's bullshit. Stop inciting your chat to attack me. How shameful. Dude, people are so funny. Like, you write in the chat because you want to get my attention. In front of 200,000 people, I literally pay attention to you. You get what you literally were seeking out, and then you cry about it. Seems like some soy behavior to me, dude. Why don't you chill, bruh?
One or more articles of impeachment, and then it just means that he's been impeached twice. The feeling is so strong, Lester. These people, when you realize they were on the floor, literally crouching on the floor, under their desks, in the House and Senate, grabbing gas masks, seeing their staff, their young staff members, terrified by what was going on, and the violation of the sacred space that these chambers are in our history. Watching those images as we were on the air all afternoon, watching the protesters going through Statuary Hall, climbing on the statues, perched in Pelosi's office. The damage to our psyche, as well as the physical damage, is just so profound that I don't think this is acceptable. And the Confederate flag, as you saw, going through Statuary Hall. There's a lot of reason to think. I think, Savannah, also, the fact that the president was silent for so long, and then when he did issue that video and subsequent tweets, he still kept talking about how fraudulent the election was, lying about it, and that's why Twitter has locked his account for 12 hours.
Yeah, those are words that will not extinguish the flames, but will fan them, which is why Twitter evidently chose to lock the account and until he deletes those tweets. We have some news breaking out of the White House, has to do with the First Lady's press secretary, Stephanie Grisham, who was at one time was the president's press secretary, resigning over what transpired today in Washington. Tell us more.
Because of the violence here. Yes, Stephanie Grisham, who is actually the First Lady's chief of staff, basically the right-hand woman, if you will, to Melania Trump. And, of course, the former White House press secretary didn't hold briefings, but she held that position, leaving her job now because of the violence on the Hill. I'm going to read you her statement that is on the record now to our Monica Alba here on the White House team, saying, "It has been an honor to serve the country in the White House. I am very proud to have been a part of Mrs. Trump's mission to help children everywhere and proud of the many accomplishments of this administration." Savannah, there are those who will certainly say Ms. Grisham was going to be out of a job in 2 weeks anyway. And so consider the timing here. Yet it is absolutely undeniable that this is certainly the most drastic and significant action that we've seen from any member of President Trump's.
I hate these people so much, dude. I mean, really, dude? Really? She literally put in her 2 weeks out of losing her job? Really? Wow, how brave, dude. Like, listen, man. This is what really fucking bothers me. Like, this is the type of shit that makes people go, this is fake. Like, what you're doing is fake. You are acting. You are literally acting out a role right now. When you turn around and you say, like, oh my God, I can't believe Melania Trump's chief of staff resigned 2 weeks before she was going to fucking lose her job anyway. Like, you're fake. That's not a real emotion that you're experiencing when you act like that's that's an incredible moment of resistance or some shit, like, or a big deal for that matter. You're literally playing a role. You are acting. The real, like, I don't think those people legitimately believe this is a significant deal either. They're just playing out a role. I feel like if it was real, behind closed doors, those people would be like, what a fucking bitch. Like, she literally worked with, what, like, in the instance of a terror attack, like, you want to fucking put the spotlight on yourself? That's what that person would say. If she was honestly, like, if that person was being honest, behind closed doors, that is precisely what the fucking conversation would be. Like, really? A terror attack occurred? And, like, you're trying to bring yourself to the spotlight by, like, resigning in a symbolic matter? Zero pity. All right, senators are heading back to Capitol.
Thank you for helping us. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Senator Schumer, how long do you think the proceedings are going to go tonight? Senator Schumer?
What's your message tonight, Senator Schumer? The country.
Senator Paul? Senator Paul? Senator Marshall, do you still plan to object tonight?
That's a good question. Yeah, I want to know. Hey, motherfucker, are you going to object still? Yo, that's brave, okay? You want to know what's brave? You want to know what's fucking brave? If one of those shitters actually objects, dude, I want to see Ted Cruz get the fuck up and be like, yeah, I still object. That's brave, motherfucker. That's brave, dude. I need to know. Oh, that's so sick. That's so sick. Imagine Ted Cruz still like, you know, I watched a little porn-a-rooney back there and I decided that I'm going to stand tall because in 1987, no, not in 1987, sorry. In 1876, one time, we actually went and found precedent for this situation that's ahead of us. I, Theodore Jebediah Cruz, object.
Senator Hawley, do you still plan to object to Pennsylvania tonight, Senator Hawley?
Yeah! His name is not Theodore, I found out yesterday, okay? His actual name is Raphael Edward Cruz. And it's really fucking annoying that, like, he calls himself Ted. It's like a real Beto O'Rourke moment. What's up with that, dude? Cuban Canadian Republicans try to make themselves look more fucking, make themselves look more white, and white Irish Texans that are Democrat try to make themselves sound more ethnic. What is that? What's going on? Why can't you be of the demographic that you claim to be a part of? I don't understand. There's no shame, dude. Literally, like, Texas is just, like, distorted. Beto's a childhood nickname? Oh, okay. Fucking Beto stands, dude.
Hey, guys. Hey. You're safe. You're safe. Are you expecting objections tonight more than Arizona? Senator, are you expecting more than one objection tonight beyond Arizona?
Don't know yet.
You don't know?
They're working on an expedited procedures, but it requires UC,
okay.
So we don't know yet.
Senator Cruz. Senator Cruz, should they limit objections?
We want to finish. We want to finish.
Bro, he got thick, dude. He's like, Ted Cruz is like me. It's the most relatable moment in his life, dude. He put on the fucking quarantine 15, dude. Holy shit. Looking thick as fuck, bro. Looking like a fat vampire, exactly. Damn, dude, he's really beefed up on that adrenochrome, dude. He's been sucking the soul out of fucking aborted fetuses.
So Romney, what's your message to the country right now?
Let's come together with a new president.
Hi guys. Hi.
Senator Kennedy, do you still plan to object to Pennsylvania? Senator Graham, do you plan to support the objections tonight?
Finish the constitutional work of 35 years
Hey, Senator.
Senator Haggerty, do you still plan to object tonight?
Bro, it's so funny. They always hit you with the, oh, I'm on my phone. It's like, bitch, you're not on your phone. We know you can hear him. There's no one else in that hallway that's even saying anything else.
Hey.
Bro, this is the total amount of cops that were literally there the entire day. Like, low key, this is how many cops existed on Capitol Hill at the time of like the 200,000 or 100,000 or however many fucking people were like marching on the Capitol. Wait a minute. I got it. The real reason why there weren't that many cops available on that day is because they were attending the protest. Oh my God. Oh my God. The reason why they were understaffed is literally because they were attending the protest, dude. Probably took the day off to go, you know, blow off some steam. Probably walked up to the cops and be like, hey, Hank, want to move this barrier? Me and my friends need to walk in. Hank, I'm your commanding officer. Just because I'm not wearing the badge right now doesn't mean we're not boys in the blue, brothers in the bond. Open these barriers right now, Hank. Hawley is one of the who's holding back the GOP caucus now, not Ted Cruz. Hawley has yet to agree to drop his plans to object to the tallying of Pennsylvania's electors. Man, Ted Cruz is such a cuck. Of course he wasn't going to fucking bet. Of course he wasn't going to continue, dude. It's like, it was a political calculation for him to begin with. Some Congress members fashion weapons. Representative Ruben Gallego tells me that when the protests began banging on the door, some members fashioned weapons. One grabbed a hand sanitizer stand, taking out the bottle and based to fashion a club. Yeah, right, dude. She made the joke 7 hours ago. Why y'all keep asking where the police at? Y'all ask where Miley's at when Hannah's on stage. So boom, support Black Womackson. Links loading. Black Womackson. Okay, that's a good ass tweet. Christ. Gallego. Lego. Jalapeno. McCarthy staff are threatening to resign. Text from a friend I worked in the Hill. Chaos in McCarthy's office. McCarthy staff apparently threatening to resign. There's a lot of internal pressure at the moment. That's not a text you got from a friend who worked on the Hill. You wrote that out on a notepad and then screenshotted it. Dude, here, do you want me to look at the Sarah Cooper? Congress will proceed tonight. Someone order Nancy Pelosi a pizza and don't let Ted Cruz have any of it. Why? Why do you want me to see this? Why, dude? This is the worst thing I've seen today. This is it. This is a bigger fucking war crime or an act of terror than everything else that we saw. This is weaponized nuclear grade enriched uranium cringe, dude. What do you want? Why do you want me to see this? In 10 minutes, McConnell will give another big speech. Lauren Boebert knew this was going to happen. That's why she carries her Glock to Congress. Yeah, to be fair, I want to apologize to Lauren Boebert, the owner of the shooting-themed restaurant Shooters and the Colorado District 3rd representative who said she was going to bring her Glock to Congress. Now I want to apologize for my take where I made fun of her and her husband, who also has no control over weapons, i.e. showed his cock to a minor, just like she is currently under investigation by authorities for giving a weapon to a minor, neither of which are responsible gun owners, it seems. I want to apologize to them under one condition, and that is that she didn't literally mean I'm going to do a shooting in Congress. Because with Lauren Boebert, it goes both ways. You know what I mean? Like, she could have meant, like, I'm going to bring a Glock to Congress tomorrow because I need to defend myself and, like, people are coming, maybe. Who knows? Or she could have literally been like, I'm bringing a Glock to Congress tomorrow. Like, some of you I like. Don't show up. I'm bringing a Glock to Congress tomorrow. Like as though she was a grievance employee. You know? Going postal, if you will. Regardless, nothing. Yeah, you guys are all right. Sarah Palin on Fox News is blaming Antifa. Oh, God. But she's such a queen. She is my queen, dude. Here's Lou Dobbs and Representative Mo Brooks basically speculating that the hundreds of insurrectionists who stormed the Capitol today may actually have included Antifa false flag elements. Oh, dude. Fucking Fox News, baby. Let's go. Back on the...
Of course, obvious videotape suggestion that Trump supporters themselves were involved. But it could be any number of other groups, anarchists or what have you, that could have taken advantage of this opportunity to try to vandalize the United States Capitol. So I urge everyone to not form a judgment until our investigative capabilities have been exercised in full. And I promise you, we will know whether it was one or more of those groups in combination that conducted this violence on the United States Capitol grounds. And I don't care who they are. Yeah. They need to be fully prosecuted under the United States law to the fullest permitted by law.
Yeah, dude, no. It must have been those violent Black Lives Matter anti-fascist protesters that were rocking the Confederate fucking flag, dude. It must have been those guys, dude. Yeah, it was probably all Antifa. Come on. Oh, give me that copium. Oh, come on. Oh, these rioters, where were they coming from? When they were saying, we are literally doing this to kill Nancy Pelosi because we love Donald Trump. What made you think they were fucking Antifa? Like, they literally telegraphed what they were doing and what they wanted to do after being addressed by Donald Trump. There is no additional evidence that you could literally have that would point to them and their intentions. Like, they were literally wearing shirts. Like, I want to be like, what is a better evidence? Like, what is more evidence that you need to figure out if they are actually, like, Trump supporters or not? Like, or what they were doing was for a specific purpose. Should they have worn shirts like, I am attending this Trump rally because I think that the election is fake and I want to kidnap a governor or a congressperson, hopefully Nancy Pelosi. Like, is that what you wanted to see on the t-shirt? And then maybe it's like, okay, I guess it's not a fucking false flag. Like, is that what you... Like, what would have allowed people to come to terms with the fact that, like, no, this is very much like MAGA territory across the board, through and through. Very much a manifestation of all the violent behavior and all the violent agitations from other MAGA and Trump supporting Republican politicians. Like did they need like a fucking I survived the Congress beer hall push and all I got was a shitty t-shirt? There is not a better way to telegraph who you're from or where you're from or who you're with than the way that these guys did. Every single one of them owns like at least 8 eyesore, ugly ass Trump merch, dude. This morning I woke up, didn't know that this was going to happen with my day. But when I first woke up this morning, because I have a bad brain, it's broken, I'm sorry, I was thinking about how every single fucking Trump supporter that you hear at rallies, whenever they're asked the question like, how did Trump benefit you? And they'll say, oh, well, you know, my business has never been better. You know, Jordan Klepper asks people at Trump rallies like, how has Trump fixed the economy for you? And what they always end up saying is like, well, you know, I'm a bail bondsman, or